Welcome back. The Black Dad Unfiltered podcast aims to amplify the voices of Black fathers in our community. And here with us now to talk about it are Carlos and Coach Rod. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Let's start off by talking about what inspired you to start Black Dad Unfiltered.
Black Dad was started to provide a safe space for fathers to change the narrative, right? Inspire, ignite, change the narrative, create a place where we can become whole in our community, and it was birthed out of our experiences as fathers.
Yeah, for sure. So the things that I've learned from other fathers, and then also the information that I wish I would have learned from other fathers, we want to pass that information on, and for sure, just shining a good light, a positive light on Black fathers. You get a lot of negative images sometimes, and we want to oversaturate
Absolutely.
Oversaturate internet, social media with a good image.
Okay. Let's talk about your upcoming event, Strength in Balance.
Go ahead.
So we're here at EOC, downtown Buffalo, 555 Ellicott Street. So we're partnering with EOC. They do a lot of events, community events, bring in different people in. So we have two different panels, multicultural panel of men, and then we have a panel of all Black men, just dealing with different things that Black men deal with on a daily basis. We have people from backgrounds of social work. We have people from backgrounds of finance. We have people from backgrounds of education and others as well.
Yeah. So the panel is really divided into two. One, what does it mean to be a man right now in the 21st century? Because we have to acknowledge that times have changed post-COVID. Maybe 40, 50 years ago, if you worked 80 hours and you put a meal on the table, you were a good father, good man. Nowadays, it may be considered choosing your job over your family. The dynamics have changed, and we have to change as fathers. So that's part of the panel. The other one is, because we are Black men, we embody what it means to be a Black father. So what are those unique challenges to Black men, in addition to what we talked about earlier? And that's some of the systematic things that are still prevalent. And so that's what the panel's about. And then holistic, right? Mental health, economic challenges, societal roles, etc.
Why is it important to have these conversations and open up this dialogue?
Yeah, what we found is, so in our circles, we have some good men around us, right? But I tend to find out the more men that I speak to, you don't see them having a great circle around them. It's a challenge for some to have a good man. Iron sharpens iron. So it's a challenge for some to have good men. So we're like, okay, the conversations we're having all the time, every man doesn't have the opportunity to have these conversations. So when we're having the podcast, a lot of times we often say, we want somebody to be a fly on the wall. We're not like giving you instructions, telling you what you have to do, but you get a chance to come in and laugh with us. You get a chance to come in and have some serious conversation and hear some positive feedback. Hopefully a man will hear something and say, you know what, I'm gonna try that. I've never heard that. So we wanna have that conversation, especially for men who may not have those safe circles or other men to lean on.
At the heart of it, we want to reestablish the family. Want to bring the family back, bring the community back. And so we're having conversations that most men may not be comfortable to have.
Right.
Topics that most men may not have access to hear about. Like we have an episode coming up about prenups. Just these things. We're addressing the things in our community that people don't talk about. So build a community.
Can I say this too, Chelsea?
Yeah.
What we did too is, you know, it's not usually what you want. So if you have a product, right? You're not selling what you want, you're selling what the consumer wants.
Right.
So what we did is we polled an audience of over 200 people to see what conversations do you want to hear Black men talk about. So it wasn't just the stuff we wanted to talk about, it was fathers, it was mothers, it was sons, it was daughters, and we got the information back from that poll, and we started having some of the conversations of things that people are looking to hear about.
And I think opening this type of dialogue is important because it also lets other Black men know that it's okay to open this discussion.
For sure.
And for a lot of us, we're breaking generational traumas. We're fighting against stigmas against us. And these conversations, like you said, not everyone has access to or feels comfortable even talking about or opening it up. I think as Black men, we're in a generation where we're moving forward and learning it's okay to be emotionally available to your kids and emotionally vulnerable. All of those conversations that are only pushing us forward and pushing Black families forward.
Absolutely, 100%. Added point to that is this, right? To become a Black father, to become a father, period, because it's not exclusive to just Black fathers, right? We just can speak from that perspective. You first have been a Black son, then a Black teenager. So we're really expanding the conversation to anyone that's affected by a Black man or a Black father. So there's empathy, there's better dialogue, there's better conversation. My son watches the podcast, right? To just get a better understanding of what shaped me to be his father. It also helps me understand, like, whoa, okay, what's impacting my son?
Right.
Because we challenge each other. We don't have the answers, but nothing happens without communication and dialogue.
And it's important for your sons to understand how you were raised, so maybe they can have a little bit more empathy for maybe your reactions to them. And you're also, being a father, you're teaching your son how to be a man and how to be a father one day. Not that you can't, unlearn things or change things when when it's your turn, but these are important. These are changing and molding people, and it's never too late. And you are the experts. You have 5 kids. You have 3 kids.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Just
I'm letting you know that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Can I say this too? In doing that with the church, sometimes it changes. Sometimes it shifts. I lost my father when I was 19. Frederick Douglass said it's easier to build strong children than it is to repair a broken man. Right? So we're trying to have these conversations with our children so you can build them up being strong, because we do see a lot of men, ourselves included, where there are some things that are broken. My father died when I was 19. There was a lot of things I didn't get a chance to learn. My son's 22. I never had a father that age. So some new things he's experiencing, I'm also experiencing those new things. So we're giving that information for a lot of fathers who may not have had a good circle to actually hear from. And also my son gets a chance to watch other fathers to learn great things as well.
And it's not just sons. We have daughters.
For sure. For sure.
And I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm clueless in terms of raising a daughter.
Listen.
You're a girl dad. No, you're doing it.
I am a girl dad, right? But I want to be better.
Yeah.
I want to understand better. I know now that there's different things that weren't here when I was growing up. More societal pressure. Cyberbullying is real. How do I make myself available to you if I've never learned how to become available to myself emotionally? So this is what we're talking about.
Well, I will be sending your podcast to my father.
Let's go.
And thank you so much for coming in. I'm excited about your upcoming event. Viewers, if you would like to register for their live podcast recording, you can visit the bit link right there on your screen and keep up with their podcast by visiting blackdadunfiltered.com. Thank you so much for coming in, you two.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you for having us, Chelsea.